With many facilities pressing pause on outpatient procedures again to save resources, what are your options for preventative care? News Channel 5's Chris Davis and photojournalist Brian Hallett show us new at 6:30 how going to your healthcare provider's home for a checkup is now possible in one Hermitage neighborhood.
Like so many on the front lines of the pandemic,
Go ahead and come over here and let's get you on the scale.
Jan Andrews can barely tell where her work life ends and her home life begins, partially because she's just so busy.
I realized that I need to do something. I need to help in some way.
But mostly because she brought her work home with her, literally.
I brought a piece of my counters in here, and I brought, a kitchen sink. I mean, I made it work.
This room in her house that was once a study is now being used to study patient vitals and host well checkups.
Initially, I thought, well, telehealth during the pandemic, probably a good idea. There's a big demand for it right now. With everyone quarantined at home. So that's where it started.
A huge contrast from what Jan was doing before the pandemic, working for an urgent care clinic as a nurse practitioner.
We were seeing a lot of patients. Once the pandemic hit, it was cut in half, if not down way below half.
Once COVID-19 started spreading, patients didn't feel safe to come in, so her company didn't want her to either. She was furloughed along with 150 others.
I mean, I was kind of shocked. I thought, wait a minute, this is when you need medical professionals the most.
She spent a few days circling the block, thinking about what to do next. She ultimately decided to revisit a long-term dream to open up her own practice. There was just one problem.
I realized I can't open a clinic right now because no one's going to come. So I had this room in my home, and I thought I need to use it.
She's able to use it due to relaxation of laws at both the local and state level that allow for healthcare from home capabilities during the pandemic. And rightfully so, there are limitations.
I don't do any surgical procedures. I'm not like, cutting on anybody or sewing anybody up or anything like that. It's basically counseling, taking vitals.
But most of her time is spent conducting her own COVID-19 testing. Needless to say, it has the neighbors talking.
They just park in her driveway. She does the test and gets the results, and it's just super convenient.
But you won't hear any complaints, at least not from Mac and Carol.
I mean, that's a natural. She's right next door.
A few weeks ago, the Arvins learned they were likely exposed to COVID-19 at a church gathering.
We knew we had been exposed. It was just kind of a natural that we called her and our friends came too.
Their whole group was able to learn within just 15 minutes if they tested positive.
She has some rapid tests, which a lot of people in town do not have. So certainly if you're symptomatic, as some of our friends were, they got their positive right away.
The Arvins got lucky.
We had the rapid test done. Ours was negative, and so we went ahead and had the PCR test done, but we got it back like in 2 to 3 days.
So I can test a lot of people pretty quick.
Even if you don't count all those she's already tested, Jan has an impressive number of patients.
About 52, and that's a lot for me. So it's a lot of work. But is it enough? Well, no. I think my goal is to probably get between 2 and 250 maximum and stop there.
She knows at some point the pandemic will end, but hopes the demand for home health care won't.
I think people want that, and I don't think the pandemic, at least the memory of the pandemic, is going to go away overnight. Just a couple of blocks away.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, thank you so much.
Even if it does, she hopes her little clinic with homegrown roots can live on one way or another.
Hopefully by then I'll have enough patients that I can open up a clinic and still stay local and still keep my patient following. That's my goal.
With photojournalist Brian Hallett, Chris Davis, News Channel 5.
When COVID is less prevalent, Jan is also willing to do checkups in patients' homes. If you'd like more information on her services, you can find it on our website.